Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Buckland Brewer's annual parish meeting. First order of business is the election of a new chair and vice chair. So, are there any nominations?
I propose Hen Staveley Brown.
I second that.
Second?
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Hen Staveley Brown's been proposed and seconded by Kath Can. Sorry, proposed by Phil. Chair.
Well, I propose yourself, was you going to stand?
No, I said I wasn't. I'm not interested.
You're not interested?
No. Anyone else? No? Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's you.
You've got chair. You've got to do vice chair. You've got to do vice. You've got to do vice.
We've got a vote.
Okay. Okay, well, it's only fair. All in favour? Anyone against? No? Trevor. Okay.
You've got to do vice chair. You've got to do vice chair.
Do I have to do vice chair now, or does that come? Yeah, I thought it was.
You staying, Richard?
Hold on.
Hold on. Thank you.
Richard, you staying or what?
Yeah, I'll stay.
You staying.
Do you want to be me for the night?
I think people know.
They might notice.
They might notice.
Who's glass and all.
Next up is the vote for vice chair. Have we got any? I nominate Sally Cole. Can anyone second that?
I'll second that.
I'd just like to say I'm standing down.
Okay.
I'm standing down.
I will propose George David.
Thank you. I'm standing down. I'm standing.
Okay. Can we have a vote for anybody else? No. What's happened is Councillor Hayward is standing down as vice chair. He's not going for election. And Councillor Mills nominated Councillor Hayward. Should we just vote for... Can we have a vote for Councillor Cole?
I'll propose.
I've done it. I've nominated and...
I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
No, it's been seconded by Councillor Ainsworth. You're very popular. Can we have a vote, please? Show of hands. Yep. We were supposed to have a speaker tonight from TTVS, but sadly she has had to, for personal reasons, not attend. So we've got an extra spare 10 minutes unless anybody would like to say anything or do anything for us. Joe, do I ask the public if they would like anything to say at this point? Shall I do the review first? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, councillors. I just want to say thank you to Richard Hooper, who was the chair for the last year, and George for the vice chair that he did for the last year also. This is the key events and expenditure for 2023 and 24. The year started with a parish council election for the first time in at least 12 years. Buckland Brewer was one of only a handful of councils where this was the case, and around 50% of the parishioners came to vote. The new parish council was formed in May 2023, and although a few councillors had done this before,
Madam Chairman, I suggest you use the speaker.
I can hear myself.
It is on.
It is on. I can hear myself. Yeah. Well, you never did either, did you? No. Hold on to it if need be. Can everybody hear me? Thank you. All right. The new parish council was formed in May 2023. All right. And although a few councillors have done this before, the first few months were largely spent training, getting to know the parish business and learning council procedures. There are plenty of those, and the rules can be quite complicated and often change according to different scenarios. A new initiative which has been very valuable to the parish council and hopefully to parishioners too is the council tea and chat sessions. These get-togethers have enabled people to raise concerns without having to speak in formal council meetings. We know how daunting that can be. And councillors can ask for views or ideas on a number of hot topics. We will certainly be running more of those, so please look out for dates in the future. A new Facebook page, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, was also launched this year. While there were parish pages, this one is dedicated to the parish council for notices and feedback. We're always grateful when people take the trouble to contact the council, whether online, via email, letters, or by simply stopping us in the street. It really does help the council to know what is going on. Although all councillors live in Buckland Brewer, it is easy to miss what's happening just around the corner. Construction has been a hugely challenging issue for many parishioners this year, and it was disappointing that so many large developments were permitted to commence simultaneously within such a small area. The parish council has been very vocal about the impact on residents and has escalated its concerns to district councillors, county councillors and our MP. We sincerely hope this won't be repeated by planners, are often simply because they're simply following government policy. Sir Geoffrey Cox held a surgery within Buckland Brewer last year, and aside from construction, key topics such as access to medical facilities, road quality, affordable housing and levelling up initiatives were discussed. The parliamentary petition he proposed regarding road quality in Devon was certainly championed locally, and the parish submitted hundreds of signatures. We await details of when this will reach the floor in Parliament and hope that some benefits will be seen before too long. As well, we all know too well that many rural roads are in a shocking state. Buckland Brewer is very lucky to have assets that generate some annual income, such as fields and allotments. They have helped to keep the PC's proportion of council tax relatively flat for the last few years, despite increasing costs, particularly in relation to administration. Unfortunately, this was not sustainable, and we cannot shy away from the fact that the cost of running the council is significant. Councillors are very mindful that money must be spent prudently, and a larger increase to the precept was requested in 24-25. In monetary terms, it only equated to an extra £2.09 per month for a D-rated council tax household, but we understand this may still be a difficult situation for some of our parishioners. Of the council tax you pay, the parish council only receives around 5%. Torridge District Council receives around 8%, and the rest goes to Devon County Council, approximately 72%, and the police and fire services. Although it will seem from the year-end accounts that the parish council has made a very healthy profit this year, there are a number of large expenses that were budgeted but had not been invoiced before the end of March. These have started to arrive and include election expenses from May 2023, the cost of a new website, and expenses to date for the industrial unit's proof of concept. The latter largely relates to the environmental testing to assess the suitability of the site. In order to be prudent and to avoid increasing expenditure further, another difficult decision was taken regarding grants. The parish council has decided to have a 2-year moratorium for general grant awards. This relates to the year just gone by and the current financial year. It would clearly not be proper to allocate public funds to organisations with plenty of money in the bank and the means to meet all of its expenses. However, if any organisation is struggling or has an unexpected expense that it cannot meet, the Parish Council is very happy to consider such urgent requests, and that is what the grant awarding policy is there for. Similarly, although the Parish Council sponsored the fireworks for the bonfire night in November, and this was another community event that was very well attended, we have decided not to do the same in 2024. Hopefully other organisations will step in this year and will create a memorable event of its own. This information is hot off the press and is also very pertinent to funds. The Council has been advised today that at least 10 parishioners have requested a by-election to fill the vacant council seat following Jane Lowe's resignation. Full details of the election will be advised in due course, but Torridge District Council has advised that the likely cost of this election will be in excess of £5,000. We await the formal quotation, but a smaller TDC parish has recently been advised the cost of the parish council by-election will be £5,099. This is because no other elections will be taking place and at the same time, and normally they would share the cost. So if you work that out, that's about 20% of our precept for this year. We are looking forward to launching a new website soon. The original one was built many years ago, and it is certainly time for an upgrade. The groundwork has already been started, and we hope that everyone will like the new look and the better functionality of it. Finally, on behalf of the Council, I'd like to say a massive thank you to our clerk, Jo Miles. This has been a challenging and busy year, and you have been incredibly diligent, hardworking, and a dedicated clerk. We are fortunate to have you guiding us through the maze of Parish Council paperwork and helping us to stay on the straight and narrow. Has anybody got any questions for any of us?
Can you give a comment as well as a question?
Go on, Brenda. What would you like to say?
I know what's going to be around the corner. As Doug's...
Do you want to just that's up because obviously it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Sorry.
Good.
Bit tongue-in-cheek really, but around every corner in Buckland Brewer there seems to be a Dougie poo bag. When you said about what will be around the corner, I can tell you what's going to be around the
Go on
corner.
then.
And I make this point because in actual fact the last 4 times that I've walked down the alleyway back there have been a poo bag.
Which alleyway are you talking
The
about?
gangway,
What, here?
trainway, yeah.
Down here. Right, yeah, got you. Yeah.
4 times.
4 times.
Walked down there, and the last 4 times I've walked down there, I know there's been a Dougie bag. 3 times. Pardon? Is it the same one? No, because one was black, one was in a different position, and one was yellow.
Right.
So sadly, I think this is something that really needs to be addressed. And going up to the parish church carol service on the whatever it was before Christmas, I was saddened to see that there was a bag of duck poo. And equally, when I was up there for the concert this last month, there was a poo bag in the main pathway up to the church still.
When they're not in the back.
Pardon?
I said it's even worse when they're not in the back.
Well, yes, exactly.
1 second. We are aware it is a major problem, and it's policing it as well. And I think a lot of this is going to be education of people, and it's really, really difficult. You know, I've picked builders up about them having their dogs at work and letting them do things, and and when you're older, you don't particularly want to go up to young ones and tell them, but it is going to be educating people. We'll keep putting things out on the Facebook page. It's policing it. Anybody else?
Maybe some signs up a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. A few more signs up. Maybe, I don't know, but it's still reliant on people picking it up. But also, how I think the poo bags, sometimes, like to wildlife, they're more dangerous than the dog poo itself, actually, as well. So people really do need to pick it up either way, don't they?
Yeah, I keep, every time I open a gateway from the road to fields, feed my sheep, see my sheep, I'm usually standing in it.
It's the same in Hill Park. On the corner of Hill Park, as you come into Hill Park, there is a red bin right opposite, but they still decorate and throw it away.
Hill Park's got quite a lot of poo bins, to be fair, compared to the rest of the village. You've got one out on the road and one by the amenity field, and I really do appreciate that the school has had a lot of problems. It's being highlighted on the Facebook council page, but for those of you on Facebook, you know, please use that to report stuff to us as well as, you know, obviously going through the normal means, because it is instant, and you know, we see it, and I know Sally, myself, and quite a few of us do monitor that page. We will think about what other measures we can take, really, around there. Anybody else?
I have seen people put, like, the bags. I've seen people put bags and they've just hung them up and they've, like, tied them up. I thought that was quite helpful, and it helps people to remember a little bit. Or laminate signs, perhaps put them on, you know, not necessarily proper signs, but just around, perhaps.
They should know that, shouldn't they?
They do. Up in the the playing field, somebody very kindly made 2 boxes, and we all keep filling them with, you know, and so, you know, people are trying. I know it's a minority that's making it unbearable for a majority. So.
These are the dog lovers.
This is the what?
These are the dog lovers.
You should be responsible.
Yeah. Oh, quite a few of us have got dogs, but I know we pick up. Anybody else?
It will continue all the time until somebody gets summoned.
Yeah.
That's the only,
Yeah.
that's the only way it's going to get.
Cameras, maybe.
But otherwise, I mean, I take my dog every day because we can't get the same problem with everybody else.
The trouble with those sorts of acts is it is being found committing. So it's a found committing act. And so I think the parish council actually, I think, have the power to issue fixed penalty notices for that sort of thing, but it is the found committing, which makes it difficult. Anybody else? Clive? No?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like to thank Richard for acting the last 12 months. Done an exceptional job as chair, whether anybody said anything, but Richard, thank you for everything you've done. And you do an awful lot of work that nobody sees. You do the footpaths, you're out strimming, you've helped me in the snow warden, as a snow warden, which we get discussed sometime. Looking at the bins, checking the bins, reminding me I haven't ordered any salt and all the rest of it. But thank you, Richard. You've been absolutely exceptional. One of the better chairmen that we've had. Thank you.
I've got a lot to live up to then. Except I'm a woman. Anybody else? Yeah, Leo.
I believe I wasn't at one of the meetings, but
Leo, I'm going to have to ask you to come and speak into a microphone because people at home can't hear you. You're going to have to shout because they've got to pick you up on the speakers.
You've got to go on, open the satellites, that's where we've got to go to. Shout very loud.
no, I was just going to say I did hear at some time that there'd been a discussion about the speed limit sign at this end of the village, and whether we could have one at our end of the village, because now there's so many more houses and a lot more cars, and all the mummies are coming in to fetch their children and everything else. And the latest thing that gives me even more grey hairs, some of these children have got these, what do you call them?
Scooters.
That
Yeah.
have got little motors on the back, and they come down the road, afraid that one of these days there's going to be a horrendous accident.
Mm.
And there's so many things that go past our house, 40, 50 even.
Mm.
They're not doing 20.
Mm.
And even tractors going up this morning with big fork things on the front, they were doing at least 30.
I know that Barbara Babb, on her last meeting as a parish councillor, that was one of her wishes when she was in the previous council. And I think that was something we did discuss, wasn't it, Jo?
It's with Devon County Council. I'm sorry, I've not got my microphones up. It's with Devon County Council to do an assessment. We don't know when that assessment is going to happen, but it is on the list. And depending on the outcome, it will mean whether or not the council can install a sign. So it's kind of watch this space, really.
But can I just ask, do the people find that the one at the other end is effective?
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. I've followed cars up there and they've been speeding along and they've suddenly braked because they've seen it as 20. You live near there, so...
I live on top of it and it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. If I stand out the front there, if I stand out the front and look at the sign, people will be doing 18 miles an hour.
Well, 18 miles an hour is all right.
I'm not going to stand there all day.
Sorry, George?
18 miles an hour is within the law.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. People will fly up the hill and go over the top of the hill at 23, 24, 25. If I stand on the corner, it won't go over 20.
Well, I go up and down there lots of times in my little gator. I actually can't get it more than 20 miles. But anyway, I've seen a lot of vehicles. They suddenly see it flash up, and 80% of vehicles, yes, 20% don't do it. Will come right. They start coming down, and they get to about 21 at the top. And not only that, the worst ones that I've seen going up is listen, they're on a schedule. It's the delivery vans. They really do pile it up. Then you get the odd one or two cars that I've seen, and yeah, I can't quite agree with what you said, but anyway. Just one point on that. We got our Torres District Councillor here, and I know we got some grants. I was just wondering if he could let Buckland Brewer Parish Council have a little bit of money towards putting one up, because we ain't got any money to buy one ourselves. But perhaps you may apply it up, James. Sorry, James.
You want to say something?
Yeah.
The existing one at the top of the road is portable. So if we could find a suitable post down the other end, there's no reason why it couldn't be undone, moved down the bottom and sort of alternated over the year. Is that something we could think about?
Sorry, we can't know how to do that.
Why?
Council's permission.
Oh.
Well, can we ask if we can do that?
No, I did ask.
I'm just saying it is portable and it's something we could think about.
Yeah, it's still subject to the same assessment. Because you can only install the sign where it's deemed to be needed.
Right.
Perhaps you should go for rails.
Sorry?
What's that? Sorry?
Perhaps you live in Wales.
Yes. Joe, can we look or
Yeah, Chairman, thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your county councillor. Look, if George A would ask me for some money, I'll get my chequebook out. I would be interested to know, do you know how much the last one cost?
Several thousand.
Yeah, I thought it was about 3,000.
3,000.
About 3,000.
I mean,
believe.
I'm happy to kick it off, but I mean, I've got 8,000 to spend on 34 parishes. I'm happy to give you 300 or 400 quid. Not a problem. And I will speak to your clerk about finding out who the person is, so that I can perhaps put a bit of pressure on them for you. I think it's a little bit silly that you can't move it. I'm not suggesting to you at all that what you said isn't right, but it is a little bit silly that if you've got a bit of an issue on vehicles coming this way, we'll just move it for a few days and then take it back again. That's what makes sense to me. But, Madam Chairman, if you would like to ask your clerk to ask me for 300 or 400 quid towards it, it'll certainly get the ball rolling, and that's not a problem.
One thing we used to do was to kind of download the kind of speed that cars have been going at. And just to kind of do an analysis really of it, which we haven't done for a while, but maybe we can do, yeah, we can perhaps do that. Someone did say that they were walking around the corner and it flashed at them. So they were obviously walking past 20 miles an hour.
I've had it walking. I've been doing 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Just one more point. The helpful lady who mentioned tractors. Well, I apologise if these are my tractors, but they can only do 30 mile an hour at maximum anyway, which they shouldn't be up through the village at all. And I will try and do my best to make sure that they don't go over 20 mile an hour, but pulling the heavy kit that they do, it's, anyway, I apologise, it's my kit.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. Come on. Could you...
I stand down and address it. Thank you. Don't drive the question. Hi, good evening. The fact that I've had a pothole that I reported...
You're not on.
It's on. It's on. Yes? Can you hear me at the back? You can now. Right. Okay. Good evening. Having had a pothole filled today that I reported a while ago, within hours I actually got an email to say it had been done. I thought with the amount of equipment they had, they were going to surface the whole lane. However, far more important than that, last week in the press it was announced and confirmed that about £7 or £8 million had been allocated to Devon roads, pothole repairs, not necessarily legal potholes, but repairs. I did contact and sent a copy of a letter to you that I'd addressed to a highways officer, neighbourhood highways officer, and one of the questions that didn't get answered was how much money is going to be spent from that amount of money, which had been previously announced, on rural roads in North Devon and Torwich. Could you, please, as our district councillor, raise the question and let us know how much of this £8 million is going to be spent on rural roads in Torwich and North Devon, please? Oh, thank you.
There you go.
So thank you for your question. And for those listening outside, the question was, or up in the air somewhere, if you didn't quite hear, a resident asked about how much of the £6.7 million government grant to Devon County Council is going to be spent in North Devon or Northern Devon on our rural roads. The truth of it is there is 8,500 and something miles of roads in Devon. Okay, so there is a priority that the council have set to keep trunk roads and A roads open and done properly. I come back to Link Road this afternoon I've been in the Midlands this morning, and you wouldn't think that the Link Road gets too much attention or needs too much attention, but actually it carries a huge amount of freight back from the motorway back to our area. The truth of it is that there are 10 priority spends in Devon, and the 6 million, just over 6 million, will deal with those 10 priority spends. You would imagine, as your county councillor, I went a pink shade of red when they told me that and said, so you're saying that our rural roads are just being abandoned, really? Because some of them are. You know, some of them aren't potholes, some of them are the whole structure on the side of the roads. It just, you know, and I think I said to you last time, we as residents of Torwich and North Devon and Devon as a general, are being expected to have roadworthy cars, and yet the roads themselves aren't car-worthy, some of them. However, that said, what Stuart, who's the executive member for Highways, told me was that, so if that 6.6 or 6.7 million is taken on the top 10 priority roads, the next 10 or the next 20 all jump up a league. Do you follow me? And 4 of our roads in Torwich are going to benefit from that. So the answer is 4 in Torridge, 3 in North Devon, as a knock-on effect from the government's 6.3 million. What is more exciting, though, is that at last week's full council, Stuart Hughes said that there's going to be another 10 million made available next year, partly from government, partly from Devon County Council's savings. And that is where I think we will gain in the rural areas. But the truth of it is, in local democracy, and Councillor Hayward, last meeting said to me, could you just ask why students in South Devon get more money than students in North Devon? You did ask that, George, didn't you? I'm waiting for a response. It is similar to roads because we have 21, I think it's 21, or it might be 19 councillors that represent above the A30 and 42 that represent below the A30. So all your big conurbations, Exeter, Newton Abbot, South Hams, all the way down that corridor. And when it comes to votes, well, if you've got 40 odd to the other side of the A30 and 18 or 20 of us up here, we're going to be poor relations. In terms of our MPs, I think Jeffrey's approach was good. You know, at least he's not kicking the can down the road and ignoring it. Will it make a lot of difference? I don't know, but at least the guy's trying. I think Selina is as well in North Devon. There's soon going to be a general election. But really, will any of the political parties be able to make a different priority to our roads in Torridge and North Devon? And the answer probably is no. The only other good thing is if devolution works properly, and devolution, I don't mean to teach Granny to suck eggs, but devolution is something that's going to come to Devon. We voted on it. It means more money decided where it's going to be spent in Devon by Devon politicians rather than Westminster and Whitehall. That may well help, but it's going to be 12 months before we see any improvement. So for the next 12 months, it's going to be much of the same. We have four teams in Torridge and North Devon who are working every day in Torridge and North Devon. Bizarrely, some of the staff come from Birmingham and Manchester and goodness knows where else. And if you get talking to them, you would find that out. And they are working for 4 months in Torridge and North Devon only. So you've got 4 teams, 2 teams in each district, basically. But, you know, our rural roads, there are miles and miles and miles and miles of it. And sadly, you know, some of our rural roads, perhaps not this road that goes up through the village, but perhaps if you were to look at the road that goes out to Tithicate, for instance, you know, you may get 20, 30, 40 cars, perhaps, a day. You might get 50. Compared to the road going in to Whipton in Exeter that will get 5,000 or 6,000 a day or 8,000 a day. And that's how officers of the County Council Highways do their sums, and that's priorities. But please do continue to do your website complaining, for lack of better words, because it does work. I know it doesn't feel like it, and it takes months sometimes, but they do get to them. They do get to them. If you're really frustrated, write to me, and I will send it straight to Tristan, who is our neighbourhood officer. I think it's better, but there's still a long way to go. I think we're probably 30% done on our roads, which means 70% isn't. And that's a very honest answer, sir. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Always fascinates me, James. Between 1818, 1913, they tarmacked every mile of road in this country. And they can't even fill up a few potholes right here at the moment. Whatever.
What is it?
Thank you. Anybody else?
Talking about potholes, I'm not sure if this is true. Someone told me for the safety of cyclists, years ago, is this true? And I'm going to say, when years ago they filled the pothole, they they then put tar around the outside to stop the water going in. But now, because of cyclists could slip on them, they don't seal them any longer, hence water goes in within a day.
Makes sense.
That's what they do.
Indeed, do. Really?
I haven't heard that they're not doing it, but
But
No,
I
that-
think they are, 'cause I think you'll see the tar. But so really, they fill them up 2 years' time and they're gone again.
2 years, Joyce. It's about 2 weeks.
Weeks, yeah.
I'm saying good.
And that's on a good time, isn't it? 2 weeks.
I will ask the question.
The tar round the pothole was designed to add a tack coat round to to allow the new tar to stick to the old tar. They found that if the road was compacted properly, they didn't need to do that. It would stick itself. What's happening is I think that some of the contractors who are doing the work probably aren't ramming the way they should, and that's why they are failing.
Has anybody else got any questions? Joan? Oh,
It's empty.
Can I ask why we can't have any sort of minutes, either drafts or sign-off minutes, in the notice board for people who are not online, like a lot of other villages have their minutes?
Joan?
Space. We need another notice board. Because they do run into quite a lot of pages, as you will probably be aware.
Yes, because Pat always used to cram them in.
Wasn't aware of that. I didn't know.
We always used to have the minutes in the notice board.
So
I
you,
can't physically fit the current minutes in, or many of our minutes in, as it stands. There's just not enough space for it.
could it go in sort of stapled and then put on, people can just take it off and read it?
Seriously locked. Locked notice.
Oh, right, okay. That I didn't think that one was locked, is it? The one by the post box?
Bottom one is, yeah,
Which one are you talking about, Joan?
well, the council notice board.
The one here?
Yeah,
I thought it was open.
not the top half.
Oh, right, okay.
To be quite honest, the notice board is not really fit for purpose.
No.
I mean, could perhaps the ordinary village people for ordinary notices have another notice board and the parish council just have that one? Because it looks a mess at the moment
I agree.
and people just kind of cover up posters.
Yeah.
They seem to think their poster's best and will cover up other ones that are still relevant. And it does annoy me when they cover up the post office and the bus timetables.
Yeah, that's
So
fair
I
enough.
think that's relevant.
Yep.
So if the council weren't going to put it in the minutes, put the post office and the bus timetable, go up in the council notice board.
Right, yeah.
Could we not put,
Can we
print some out and say leave some in the shop for people that haven't got? You know, would that be helpful if we printed some off, minutes off, and left them in the shop, or maybe left them in a box by the notice board for people to pick up and take home? Would that be helpful?
Not very green.
It's not very green, I know, but it benefits everybody of the parish then, for those that haven't got
When
email
they
and.
used to be in the notice board, it's surprising when you'd walk up the road and people were actually reading them.
Or maybe we need a new notice board then, a bigger one.
Yeah.
Extension.
I take it it's our responsibility, is it, the
When-
notice board? Sorry.
When we got some money, we will put, as the parish council, when they got some money, perhaps we put a bigger notice board.
Or just a minute.
How about in the telephone box, which is a library, if we say that it's been put in there and it's put into a sort of maybe a folder and people can get it out, read it, put it back? I don't know. On a temporary level, until we look at notice boards and things, maybe? Yeah, could even put them up. It's waterproof, so we could put them inside the telephone box for now, and then
Can always put a reference on the council notice board that that's where they are.
a little arrow into the into there.
Plastic sleeve
Yeah. Joe, is that something we can look at?
Perhaps we could also liaise with the shop, because there is a really good notice board outside the shop, and I don't think that is fully utilised, is it? So maybe
Well, if you can't get all your minutes in that one, you won't get them in the shop notice board.
it's bigger than the parish council one.
It is bigger, but it's surprising what's in there.
Maybe for now we look at maybe the telephone box and maybe put it on a chain and people can stand there and read it. I don't know. In the telephone box, like when we used to have the old yellow pages on us, we could do it with the minutes or something like that. I'm sure we can come up with between all of us. I'm sure we could come up with a good idea. Sorry, Alan.
You can put them in the park on the notice boards there. Ollie used to set them, no problem, and I used to keep up to date.
Okay, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. We could put them around the place. Yeah, why not?
And also been on like fundraising that in the past, and when you're celebrating 50 years or something, there's usually a mad trying to find the exact date when a lot of these things actually start. Only I'm just saying about the importance of dates, because tonight's council meeting is advertised as the 8th of April, the one tonight, the second meeting, and also I was looking at the minutes for this corresponding meeting for last year, and the minutes have gone in as the 25th of April, when it might be me, but the meeting was on the 25th of May.
Yeah, there was a couple of errors. I think, Joe, you were aware of them, weren't you? And they went out, and I think you re-amended them, but possibly that's what happened, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I've got the minutes of the last meeting, the last annual meeting, as it says in there. I don't know. I'll need to check. Really don't know the answer to that.
We'll check it for you, Jane. We'll get that right.
Like I say, the next meeting is advertised for the 8th of April in the notice board.
Maybe we're all in a time warp. We're going back in time. I know. I think what happened was, I think they did go out with the wrong dates, and I think we did pick up on it, and then maybe they weren't picked up on and whatever. I think this has been a bit going on, isn't it? You looking, Joe, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. Is that it, Joe?
Can you issue them in draft form? Or have you got to approve them?
I can't hear you, sorry.
Can you issue the minutes in draft form?
Can we issue the minutes in draft form?
Yeah.
So she got to be a month ago.
Yeah.
You can. Or you've got to go through the... So it's going to be at least a month.
A month, yeah, before you see them.
In the case of the website, 2 months behind. Time it.
Uploaded.
Yeah, and the thing is, the parishioners are missing. They're 2 months behind. What's going on?
But they can't go out until they've been signed off. So that happens in the next meeting. So it's always going to be a month behind. Hang on a minute, Brenda. Do you understand do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the way it's always been done. They get signed off at the next meeting.
Well, no, they always used to, the draft minutes used to go up, like it does in a lot of other villages as well. They put people draft.
Right, okay.
And they get the notice boards.
So why have we changed that?
I think because of the training told us we couldn't.
Ah, right. The training told us we couldn't. Right. Signed off. Yeah, that's exactly what I've just said. Yeah, and that's what I was under the impression we have to sign them off before they go out to the public. Otherwise, they could be incorrect and we're giving you incorrect information, or a councillor says there's something not quite right in there.
But the whole draft means draft.
It does.
Out of the 8 to 9 parish issue them, you know, as available to read 6 of them in draft.
That might be, but I know we were told in training that obviously we've got to sign them off, and as you probably are aware, that there are a lot of occasions when people have, you know, felt that certain bits aren't right. And if that goes into the public domain, it's going to be difficult to write that then, isn't it? Otherwise, we'll be putting out some more minutes when they're signed. So we'll have a draft minutes and we'll have the actual minutes going out. 2 lots of minutes.
Well, yeah, if it is draft, it's draft, and people, if they want to follow something through, they know to look up. And get
It's
the
not,
other
but it's not really allowed. Anybody else? Sorry, Kath.
Oh. Open forum, and we just kind of drifted into open forum.
You are, yeah.
I'd like to ask then, about tonight's meeting. It's an annual parish meeting. Could somebody please explain to me what, why we've elected a chairman and vice chairman? Years ago, it's always had 2 meetings on one night. And what have happened that's different? If I quite like coffee, and when I'm having a cup of coffee, I'll Google some things. So if you Google things, the annual parish meeting is an informal meeting. It's for us to get to know you, you to ask us what we want, put suggestions out, things like that. It is, the way I understood it, not for business. But on the same night, you can have an annual meeting at which the chairman and vice chairman are elected. My question to you is, how do I, as a parishioner, find out what is right and what is wrong? I've asked Torridge, I've spoke to Torridge, I'm waiting for a reply from a phone call from last week with Stacey Dory. Yeah.
Stacey Dory.
I've spoken to Tom this morning, and he was, he don't know. The Devon Association of Local Councils down at Exeter, because I'm a parishioner, I'm not really supposed to be asking them things. I could get Trevor to do it, but I'm not allowed to ask. I did ask her something one day, and she said, I'll tell you that, because actually that doesn't matter. But no, the Devon County Association of Local Councils isn't there for the likes of me. So, all right, go one more. Go to the National Association of Local Councils in Ring Bay. I did this morning, spoke to a lovely lady. I'm not right to, just a minute, before I talk to you, I'll just switch Judge Judy off. So I was obviously working from home. And no, her couldn't talk to me because I'm a parishioner.
Right.
So my question is, if I want to know something, where do I go to find the information?
With regards to local councils?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, Torridge, yeah. And also, there's obviously... sorry.
I've already put in for Torridge, asked, for a phone call to speak to somebody.
Yeah.
And nothing. And like I say...
Have you spoken to Stacey Dory?
I said I want to know today, and
right.
To my knowledge, he hasn't been
right.
back to me at all today.
Okay. Torridge is probably the best place to go, or under the Governments Act, it will tell you a lot on there, online.
So, yeah, I read online that the annual meeting is the annual parish meeting is an informal meeting, and the annual meeting is where you elect the chairman and vice chairman. And we've done that for years.
Annual general meeting, yeah.
Pardon?
The annual general meeting, which this is, yeah.
This is the annual parish meeting, and you've made
annual parish meeting, yeah, sorry, yeah.
The annual parish meeting is an informal meeting via Google. And I've been looking on, the government websites, and it's there. The annual meeting is the annual meeting is where you do the chairman and vice chairman.
Or just chair?
Chair. Sorry, I beg your pardon, chair. Yes.
So your question is...
Where do I go to get...
Oh, where do you go to get information? Like Councillor Morris just said, it will be Torridge. But your question is, why have we elected a chair tonight?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Can anybody answer that?
We are permitted to do this. We followed this procedure or this process last year, and I made sure that the meetings can be done in this way because we have this informal open forum.
Okay,
And
so...
it's just the order of business to make sure we've got a chair to host the meeting, and that's the only business we actually do in this meeting.
Yeah, well, just like I said, the annual parish meeting is an informal meeting, to my knowledge. What happens about your standing orders then? About having an annual meeting?
This is an annual meeting.
It's not, it's advertised as an annual parish meeting. Whichever meeting it was, you agreed at the date that this would be a combined meeting. So if it's a combined meeting, you would surely be advertising it as an annual parish meeting and an annual meeting. Two things. I don't mind, I can see combining it if that's the way you do it, but it must be advertised, surely, correctly.
Can you answer that?
I think in the past, it's always been the duty of the sitting chair to provide the review because he's the one who's been the chair or she.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, as a chair, I was very pleased when Jo decided she would write it, and I'm sure you were this time. So in the past, as I said, in the past, you would normally expect the chair to write the review and present the review. Obviously, the way we're doing it, we don't know who the chair's going to be. So we've chosen for the clerk who's been there every time to write the review and the chair to read it, and it seems to work. And it's done on the same night, so does it make any difference?
I think
okay.
All the stuff we read online then, the government websites and that, so they're all wrong, are they?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying why we do it.
Yeah, but we've had yours. It's been nice to have had your outlook of it.
To be honest, what I read out, I wouldn't have read it out if I hadn't been voted in, but I did do that. Some of that wording is my wording, as well as it being, as well as it, that's right, as well as it being Joe's. The facts and the facts and figures I have got from Joe.
Why did you do it and no other councillors?
Yeah.
Why did I do it? Well, I don't know. Maybe other councillors have written one.
Well, you did that very one. And you didn't know you were going to be chair.
No, I didn't. I did it. I knew I was going to put myself up as chair, and so if I got voted in as chair, I was prepared.
Yeah, but...
Is that wrong? Sorry, have I done something wrong?
Sorry, yeah. I never realised that, so the clerk writes the report, and the chair, whether it's the old one before he resigns or the new one that comes on, also adds to theirs, or is the whole report written by the clerk?
Well, in the case of last year, George, Jo kindly wrote it for me because she attended every meeting. Not all of us attend every meeting, so we had all the facts together, and I was quite happy for that to go ahead.
So you were happy to get it going?
Well, I was from my point of view.
Yeah.
And what Hen does is up to her. But
Fine.
for me,
So
I'd say
from now
what
on,
I read out were the facts.
So from now on, at any parish meeting, as our parishioner has said there, what is read out for the overall year is presented by the clerk, read out by the chair, with the chair adding their own bits at the last minute if it's a new chair or whatever, yes?
Well, I didn't add anything to mine, but
No, fine, I'm asking...
You said that you had tweaked yours, though. You said to me you tweaked it and put bits in.
only a thank you at the end, but nothing else.
Yeah.
The facts were all based.
As long as I know what's happening, that's fine. Thank you.
All I can say
Have I
is-
done something wrong here that has offended somebody, or? I did it in conjunction with Joe. Joe gave me facts and figures because I don't have all the figures like Joe does, and I've put my bits in as well. So, but I just thought I was reading it from the chair, so therefore it was from me. Everyone's confusing me slightly here.
Well, I think you're confusing everybody else, but at least I've been on parish council for 12, 14 years. Councillor Mills has been on a lot longer than that, and same with Councillor Watson. I don't know if you realise what was being read out every year was the clerk or the chair. I never did until now anyway, but thank you.
So I'm sorry, I'm
Fine.
confusing you.
Yes,
In my
fine,
day,
thank you.
the chair wrote his own report and presented it at the meeting.
And all those sleepless nights, remember, Trevor?
That's what happened.
And all those sleepless nights where you having to
Right.
write a report.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused as to what I'm supposedly done wrong or done right or done wrong or whatever. But,
Nobody's
you know,
accusing you.
You haven't
Nobody's
done-
accusing you
you
of
followed
doing
last
anything
year's
right or wrong. Long as you
So
know where
what
it's
format should have been then?
We changed last year,
Right, that's it.
but no one seemed to disagree at the time.
I was told I was following the same process as before.
No, the outgoing chair wrote and presented the report, and to be honest with you, they weren't as good as ours. They were a few lines, and these are much more informative, I would have said.
Going back to what Brenda was asking about having a combined meeting or a separate one, well, maybe for next year we'll have to kind of think of that, how we actually present it, how we kind of advertise it, because that's the thing, and it's advertising. So maybe for next year we can make sure that people are clear of what exactly we're having it. And if we have it all, if we have it all in one meeting, maybe there should be a gap where you do it. So that's something to think about.
Can I have a leaflet from there?
Yes, please.
Has anybody else got any other questions?
Oh.
Yes, sorry, yep. Yeah, go ahead, Brenda.
Last year we were invited before the meeting of the annual parish meeting to meet the councillors, and at the meeting we were asked there one time kind of what we'd asked you, James, and Rob and Phil, so we've done that. Anyway, it's moved on. So I didn't actually ask my question that I wanted to ask the councillors last year, so I'll amend it slightly and ask this year. Firstly, I'd like to say, have all the new councillors met their aspirations in coming on as elected members of the Buckland Brewer Parish Council? Have you met...
Can you turn on your microphone?
Pardon?
Can you turn on your microphone?
I'm telling the microphone, isn't I?
No, they can't hear you at the back.
What, like I'm licking at Hawkins?
That's the one.
Fine. Eh? Like a Lockins, okay. So basically, I was asking the new councillors, and I wanted to ask this last year because Trevor and I, for some reason, weren't privy to everybody's electioneering leaflets. Fair enough, that's fine. So I don't know what some of them had in mind, and I'm just wondering if the last 12 months has met their aspirations, and what you've got in mind for the next 12 months that you would like to achieve. That's to 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, if you like.
Kath,
If you don't want to answer tonight,
Kath, do you want
just
to
let
answer?
me know.
No, go on, Kath. Over to you. Kath?
So I go first.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Personally, the last 12 months have been a lot harder than what I thought it was, because there's a lot of circles we seem to be going around in and a lot of things to jump through. Everybody's on a lot slower pace than I expected, as in like Devon County Council, potholes for instance. We've reported signs that still haven't been repaired a long time ago. And yeah, I find it quite frustrating that things don't happen faster. Hopefully getting to know a bit more about the parish, as in how things work with the council, etc., and doing things through Joe and talking to others, that we can push forward and get things done a lot quicker. Was also my aspiration is I sort more Thornhill head out. I'm quite passionate about that. There's a lot of vehicles actually driving onto the moor, which really disappoints me and causing damage to the moor. So my goal this next year is to try and prevent vehicles driving across the moor that shouldn't be going across the moor. Also fouling dogs as well, because there's cattle grazing up there as well, you know, and I'm quite worried about that as well, and how we go about that, and fly tipping as well on Thornhill Head and around the parish as well. You know, I've put a few things forward which are going to be discussed at at the next meeting, I believe, about Thornhill Head. So, you know, and I'm always welcome the people to, you know, to get hold of me. I have got quite a few parishioners do contact me about things, which I'd like to bring up at members' reports if anyone wants to ask me to. So that's me, really.
Kath?
Very similar, really, regards to Thornhill Head Moor, and it's just basically to finish off some of the things that we said that we would do, like the benches and the memorial, cleaning that one up, and just going round and catching up and speaking to people and anybody's concerns and anything what anybody wants, and just going through what people want, really, and trying to have use common sense and to do things, and that's about it, really. I've got lots of things here, but it's all a bit of a mess. But and Phil.
Well, you've caught me really on the hop, to be quite honestly. I apologise that you didn't get one of my leaflets, but you are out in the sticks a little bit. Well, are you not? As for aspirations in the future, I don't really know, because I haven't found my feet onto the parish council yet myself. There's an awful lot to learn, as I'm finding out, and as I fully expected to spend the first 2 years just finding out how things work. And that is what I'm doing, and I shall carry on doing it.
For me, it's just been a very big learning curve, and it's a lot of reading, a lot of research, and I'm enjoying that, learning codes of conduct and all the other sort of little bits that go along with it. I didn't realise how difficult some of it could be. It's nice to work in a team with people, and as a team that we can get things done, strive to get things done within, you know, a viable amount of time, without sort of having to, obviously certain things are quite slow sometimes to be able to get things done, but working as a team and researching and making sure that we're doing what's right for the parish is what the reason that I came onto the parish council. And I know as a team of, well, as we are at the moment, 8, we strive to do that.
Thank you very much. Well, you know, you said all that, and I really appreciate it. There are one or two things that
Microphone.
you said earlier on. Oh, yes, sorry. Gosh, if I was only listening, I'd be saying, where's that? So, Hawkins ice cream in situ. just now you said about contacting the council and the new Facebook, not great Facebook user myself, but I have contacted the council. I've written 3 letters. I've not had a response from any of those letters. One has got lost, and so I'm enjoying, no, not enjoying, I wait with anticipation when the letters will get answered.
Who did you...
Also, as you know, Trevor hasn't been too good, and so when I'm home there at night, I just sit and look at the minutes. I've got a list here of things that have been brought up in the minutes, and they just get brought up in the minutes, and that's it. So one time there was Abbott's Lane sign, so a 7 CD. There's a dangerous rod. Oh, sorry, Abbott's, what do you call it?
Yeah, I know where you are now.
Yeah. The dangerous rod up Tower Hill. I said I had no update on that. Surely, with all that, every meeting, the parishioners are entitled to know what's going on.
Richard, you've got an update on that?
I can give you an update on that, and it's not good, I'm afraid. I reported that not as a parish councillor, as a parishioner, because it's outside my house. They turned up the very next day and looked at it. They cleared some grass around it, sort of dug down a little bit to see what it is, and been back. At the same time, I reported a cable that had come down in the wind on the road to Stone, and they repaired that the next day. So I don't know what they're doing with that. Well, I agree, it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is very dangerous. I mean, at one time he was lied over, and quite honestly, I nearly tripped over him. And it's not good enough. But if all these things are ongoing, why aren't parishioners being? Why are we not being told about all these things? It's surely transparency. And then there was another thing. Parish Thornhill Headmore, someone suggested putting on some paving slabs. And Jo Very, at that meeting, said, well, actually, she's in negotiation with somebody about maintenance. No more has been heard about that at all. And, you know, there, as his past said the other day, really, it could do with a couple of paving saloons, like Trevor suggested, just for people to stand on. There's also, we brought up, when I say we, it was brought up, the frontage of the, out here by the chapel lawn, chapel shop. Gosh, that gives my age away, doesn't it? Pardon? The parking area. The posts have been down, and it got brought up about reinstating the posts so that it makes it safe for people. Because they're parking, and we need, because there are no rods there or posts there, I do it myself, you know, drive up. But things are brought up, and nothing more is said about it. I mean, I think it was decided, oh, we'll look in to see whose it was. But I mean, David here said, oh, it don't belong, it's no man's land, nobody owns it. So why aren't we moving forward with some of these things?
I agree.
So, you know, perhaps...
No, I agree, but I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, good.
Madam Chair, I'm a bit upset that one of our councillors think if you just live outside the village, you live in the sticks. Buckland Brewer Parish is the second biggest parish and third biggest parish in Devon. It is an inclusive parish, so we are in the parish in the outlying places. So, yeah.
I was just apologising, Councillor Hayward, that I didn't get out to their property because they live in the sticks. I think that's a fair comment.
Perhaps you could use different words.
Okay, let's move on, please. Dave.
I'd just like to go back to the first parish council meeting in 1894. I know, I wasn't there. But it was recorded that the meeting was done with good humour and good feeling.
Yeah.
Go on, Brenda. Go on. I know.
About the village scene, I'd just like to say that I might have been a bit of a burden to some of you about keeping on about putting the minutes and that in the village scene. But all I can say is you brought it on yourselves, because last year when I was talking about the village in general, I kind of said, and somebody said, well, entering the best of Britain or best kept village. And I said that tongue in cheek because there's no way this village could enter that competition. And then later on, when I read in the minutes that it said best kept village, I'm thinking I've got to upgrade my part on the village magazine, because if anybody had entered the best kept village, they would be scrutinised as in the village scene. So that's what I done. I tried to get the best I could for the members of the public.
Thank you, Brenda. Yeah.
And one more thing. As I did all this fireworks and that, where was that entered in any of the minutes?
Say that again.
The fireworks, where was the fireworks recorded in any of the minutes that you had last year? You gift it out and you read it out in the report.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I said that we wouldn't be having any fireworks this year.
Because it's had it last year.
Yeah, but because we've...
So where was it in any of the minutes?
Last year. What, last year's ones?
It was for the approval of the cost of the fireworks.
Pardon?
The approval for the cost of the fireworks is minuted.
Oh, I missed that then.
Okay. Anything else? Sure? Anything else?
Well, what other notes if you wanted me to go on, but I think I better stop.
I've got people glaring at me. You sure? Okay. Sure? Nothing else to say? No? Okay. Has anybody else?
Richard, for what a good job he done. I mean, it was obvious last year that something had happened because George and Richard improved no end. They must have been somewhere and had a good day.
Look, let me just say thank you for that, and thank you for what you said earlier, George. I've been lucky, I had a lot of support from everyone, and all I would say going forward, I hope you all offer the new chair the same support.
Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. Has anybody got anything else?
Ding, ding, ring.
Ding, ding. Thank you. Right, we're going to go into round two, which is the parish meeting. Apologies for any absence. We haven't got anybody absent, I don't think. Declarations of interest.
Yes, Madam Chairman. Yes, on... It is switched on. On your planning, I haven't got the numbers.
Plan 209A.
Sorry?
Yeah, 209. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, 209A and 209A, and I'm not sure about 209B, but I am declaring interest because I'm next door neighbour on it, running stuff, so I don't know, but I'm declaring interest.
Okay, thank you very much. Joe, have you got the minutes for signing?
Sorry, can I, Madam Chair, I wish to make a statement on, now you're doing the minutes. Okay.
Hang on 1 second.
On the 13th,
Hang on a minute, George. What are you saying there is something wrong with the minutes of the 10th of April?
I'm saying there's something wrong with the minutes on the 13th of March. I've spoken to the Torridge District Council lawyer, and they say I can make a statement.
So that's the minutes before these ones.
Yes,
And Stacey Dorey has said that you're allowed to make a statement.
I can make a statement.
They're already signed up though.
That's why I can make a statement.
Okay.
On
Carry on, George.
Thank you. On point 193, reference Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association and the Playing Field Association committee brought it up that they wanted to Buckland Brewer Parish Council take it over and run it. I said at that time, I declared an interest on the decision and I left the room and never said anything. I said when I came back that I felt that I had been, as the landowner of it, I gave it for 190 years for a lease, that I had been totally disrespected, but I hadn't been spoken to. Now, I'm not as fast in the brains as I used to be. Councillor Staveley Brown said that that was not correct. Well, what I was referring to was you had Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association had several meetings, they must have done, to get this up and running, and that's what I felt that I've been disrespected. I wasn't brought in at the start, I was brought in at the fait accompli. And Councillor Hooper came to me, and quite rightly, and said that this is what they were thinking about. He didn't know what else they were going to do. And the ramifications only hit me after a time. So the minute where it says that I said I was disrespected and hadn't been spoken to, and Staveley Brown says that's not correct, is not correct, because I was referring to the original discussions between the trustees or whoever it was and yourself. So I wanted to make that plain. Thank you. And I would like that minuted, please. 193, March the 13th.
But is that...
It's minuted. You minuted.
But this, you're talking about you were disrespected by the Playing Field Association.
I felt I was, because I was not brought in right at the start, discussions at the start.
Then surely that's a subject you should bring up with the playing field.
Sorry?
Is that not what you should be bringing to the Playing Field Association rather than the parish?
No, it's in the minutes. You said that I had been told and explained what was happening. And what I was referring to right at the start, I hadn't. So this minute is not correct. Because I hadn't got my brain working quick enough and understanding what the total ramifications of all this is. So I wish this to be minuted. Well, it looks like I have there told a lie, and I haven't.
So basically you wanted it minuted in today's meeting, yeah?
I want that minuted in today's meeting.
Yeah.
Reference March 13th, minute number 193. And also, because the chairman of the Buckland Brewer Parish Council meeting, when I left the room, I was chairing that meeting because the chairman was away, and the chairman who took on, chair lady, do apologise, was the chair of Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association. As far as I'm concerned, that you had an interest, you should declare an interest and should never have chaired that meeting. And I think that meeting and that decision should be made null and void.
Well, advice was taken prior to the meeting, and that was the advice that I was given prior to the meeting.
Sorry, I missed that.
Advice prior to the meeting, and that was the advice that everything was above board.
The Torres District lawyer said to me that should never have happened, and she said that in the meeting as well. Because there is a confliction of interest and a financial interest, because the Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association would maybe not have to raise the money, as they say they can't, because they can't get enough people to support events. That's why they want Buckland Brewer Parish Council to take it on. Now, she said that as there was a conflict of interest, or an interest, one way pecuniary or otherwise, that meeting, the parish council meeting in discussion, should not have been chaired by the chair lady of Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association.
Right, well, I think we're straying into, you shouldn't really be commenting on some of these things because of your interest as well.
I'm sorry, I asked Torridge District Council lawyer Stacey Dorry, which you can contact any time you like, and I'm not being said that I am not allowed to do this.
Please don't be rude to me.
I'm sorry, I'm not rude to you.
Offering advice based on the advice that I was given prior to the meeting. Now, I understand what you're saying. I've noted it. I'm just a little bit confused why this is being raised here. It is not parish council business in respect of your, where you felt disrespected. I've noted what you've said, but I did take advice prior to the meeting. Now, I will go back again and I will ask a question, but that was not what was said explicitly in the Part 2 meeting. We did discuss this in the Part 2 meeting. We did discuss this. I'm sorry. We did discuss this in the Part 2 meeting. And the lawyer, Stacey Dorry, was there, said that she should not have actually chaired it because there were different. She was chairing a Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association and wanted Buckland Brewer Parish Council to take over the running of the field because the Buckland Brewer Playing Field Association, the trustees are getting older, and they wanted.
Right, I'm going to.
I am sorry.
Councillor Hayward, I'd like you to stop now, okay? Because we need to move on, and this isn't really anything to do with this meeting right at this moment. If you want it to go on to the next agenda, I suggest you do. Okay.
Fine, we'll put it on the next agenda, but I want to minute it what I have said.
And
the clerk is telling me I couldn't do this.
And the clerk has just said she has made note of what you have said. She has said that to you.
I've been told by the lawyer what I
Yes, I know you
done.
have.
Fine. Thank
I know you
very
have.
much.
I know you have.
She did actually suggest that all four of us had an interest, didn't she?
Well,
And
precisely.
probably shouldn't have voted in the first place.
Precisely. Did you hear that, Councillor Hayward?
I heard that. Shouldn't vote, yeah.
All
So
of
what was
us.
that?
All of us, all four of us probably shouldn't have voted because we all had an interest. When I say four of us, I mean the four of us who were on the Playing Field Association.
I was not in the meeting. I got no idea. I stood outside.
No,
and
this was,
told.
Stacey said this in the Part 2 meeting.
Right.
Me,
Yes, she did say that.
Catherine,
Yes. Yes.
Phil.
Yeah.
and Hen probably shouldn't have voted or
But-
should have declared an interest.
But the
Which
chair
we were
shouldn't
unaware
have
of
been
at the
taken.
time.
Right, where are we? Right, sorry. Can everyone confirm that they've read the minutes from the 10th of April and the Part 2 minutes from the 10th of April, and they're happy? Do they need anything amending, or if they have contacted Joe, etc.?
I apologise that I read them late, and it was just something I wanted amended in the Part 2, just a word added.
I did, yeah.
Okay, fine. I haven't read them since.
Yep, they've been amended. Anybody else for the Part 2 and the Part 1 meeting?
On the part.
George?
Yeah, sorry, there was on the Part 2, but there was some wording that I didn't think was said by the
Can you use your
There was
microphone?
some wording on part 2. I don't know what you want me to bring up, whatever was said by the lawyer, which I didn't think she said, and I brought it up with a lawyer who's looking into it.
When you keep mentioning the lawyer, you're talking about to Stacey Dorey, yeah?
I'm talking about Stacey Dorey. That is the council lawyer.
She's also the monitoring officer as well. So is there something in the part 2 you're not happy with?
There was a statement, it was a written minute on part 2 that I didn't think she said, and she was going to look into it. And I'm not cutting in on that, but there was what's minuted there. There was 3 or 4 words that I didn't think she was said.
Okay. Everybody else happy? Everyone happy with part 1? It's okay, I'm only initialing. I know I've got a long name.
Madam Chair, yes. There's probably a reason, whatever. The numbers are the same on the April meeting as on the March meeting. That's what's confusing me. You can use whatever numbers you like, I expect, but if you notice on March meeting you got 188, you know, at April meeting 188, unless I've got something wrong.
I think you explained that, Joe, didn't you? In an email, yeah?
For simplicity, can we go back to the continuous running of it so that we don't get confused?
Ask the clerk.
Is that all right? Thank you.
Right, moving on. 209, applications, planning. Has everybody had time to look at them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. First one is... Yes or no? No. You don't own it, do you?
Hmm?
Is this your house?
Yeah. Not my house, but his family's. Is it necessary?
Joe, is it necessary for him to leave? I don't think it is.
He's already declared.
You've already declared an interest. You don't need to. I wouldn't bother about leaving, George. Okay. New planning applications then. So Borough Farm, Buckland, Brewer, Bideford. It's retrospective change of use from C3 dwelling house to C2 residential institution. By then. Slamming the door. Anybody, is everybody in favour of that? Show of hands, please. Trevor? No, you don't. You're not in favour? Are you? No. Have you got that, Joe? Can somebody just shout Georgian again? He hasn't. Has he declared an interest on this one as well?
Next door.
Oh, right. 3 Tenement Park, Buckland Brewer, extension of existing dwelling. Has everybody had a look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problems? No problems? Do you vote for that, please? Trevor? Yep. No problem. Can somebody let George back in again, please? We're at the end of there's no public participation now, Brenda. It's ended.
Okay.
Is there something urgent you want to say to me?
Yeah, I was just wondering, all this will be ratified, will it, these 2 decisions at the next meeting? Because Trevor never had, Trevor never had notification of this meeting 3 working days before today.
Well, we all did. We all had 3 days' notice of this meeting.
It came through on Friday. Did it come through on Friday?
Yes, that's correct.
Pardon?
That's correct.
That's correct. So we've got Friday, Saturday,
No, Friday, Monday,
Working days.
working days, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 working days.
No, Saturday.
Monday.
Oh, Saturday counts. Oh, 3, yeah. Pardon?
Got a bank holiday in the middle there.
Or Friday.
and that is via the Devon Association of Local Councils. That's the
Well,
one thing they've told me.
Okay.
So this meeting will have to be ratified at the next meeting.
Okay.
Is that right, please?
Right. Thank you everybody for your attendance. It's been lovely to see so many people here tonight. It's hopefully we can get more people on the seats in here. I think it's now sort of 7:31 and we're going to 8:31. Oh. See, I've gone back in time. 8:31, and I was going to say this interview is concluded, but that's my old job. So this is concluded. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm frozen.